In CenterPoint Fund, locations describe the physical locations that generate financial activity. For example, you might have a department such as the fire department, and you want to maintain all of the financial activity for each station. So you might set up each one of your fire department stations as separate locations. Okay, locations can be used in analysis, so you can get out actual financial statements by location. Locations are also optional in CenterPoint, so you can define the use of locations and add them to your data at any time. To set up a new location, I'm going to go to Setup, into Departments and Locations, and go ahead and select Locations. You can see here that we've already defined station number 1, station number 2, and we have a third fire station that we need to go ahead and define. So to add a new one, we're going to click New, and I'm going to give it an abbreviation. The abbreviation is optional, 10 character, up to 10 character field, and it could either be numeric or alphanumeric. And we're going to go ahead and call this Station 3. And then you need to choose a type. Your type options are either a business, municipal, or an other. Okay, for me, this is a municipal organization, so I'm going to select it as a municipal location. And all of my locations would be municipal locations for my company, so I'm going to right click and set that as a default, so I don't have to select that field each time. It'll be entered in automatically. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Before I do, though, there is a button down here at the bottom called Additional Notes, where I can put in additional notes about this location if I choose to store those notes with this location. If I also wanted a timestamp with that and clicked on the timestamp button, it would put the timestamp in there, and then any notes I put in would be associated with that timestamp. I'm going to backspace that out and click OK and decide to not put any notes in for my location. I'm just going to go ahead and click Save. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Close there. So to use this location in a transaction, I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's used in a transaction by bringing up a payment screen. And I've got a payment for an electric bill that we have for the fire department. So, and it's for one specific location. It's for location of the station number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and come here and put in an electric bill for $234.98 and come down here to my expenses, and I'm going to choose my electricity, or actually I don't have an electricity expense. I'm going to choose my utilities expense account. Okay, and you can see here right away that I've already got a column displayed that says department. Okay, so I know this is for the fire department, so I'm going to choose that. But I don't have a column that represents location. So I'm going to go to this detail button over here, and when I click on that detail button, you see here that there are some additional details that can be entered in that weren't on that previous screen. And station is, or location is one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I think I said this was for location number 2. So this is for location number 2, and I could go ahead and click OK. Now, if I want to see that location on this grid, then on each transaction screen, you can right click and go to Add Remove Columns, and notice that the columns with the check mark in them are actually the columns that you see displayed here and in the order that you see them. So I can come down and I can find the one named Location and move it up with the other selected columns by choosing this button here. And then I can position it to wherever I want it. So if I want it right next to the field that says department, I can use the up arrow to move it to where I want it. So right now, department then is located next to location. Okay, so that put it on the screen, and I can see the different locations there. So I can go ahead and click Save on that transaction, and that would save that expense by location. Now, to go ahead and run reports, if you go to reports, you'll notice that on every one, or on very a large number of our reports, especially financial statements, you can go ahead and highlight that statement, and you would be able to filter it by location. Now, location might not be one of the filters available on a report. To go ahead and filter a report by location, you could go ahead and click on the more items and you could add the location filter to that. So I can come here now and run a report on station number 2, for example, and then go ahead and click preview, and we'll see then for that utility expense that I just put to station number 2. I didn't have any previous transactions that went to those stations, so that's why we're seeing this just by that particular location. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And that shows you how to go ahead and set up locations and use locations in both transactions and reporting.